don't give a fuck what you're talking about. For real, get the fuck out. Because you got me fucked up. Like, no, this the third time.
You think a guy like me has ever gave a fuck?
See, and it's the, like...
Dirty bitch. Fuck you. Loser.
Here's some things that my soon-to-be ex-husband used to do that I didn't realize wasn't normal until after I left. When the Wi-Fi guy came to install our internet, he made me FaceTime him the entire time because he said that I might try and sleep with him, and then he still accused me of sleeping with him, saying that I could have slept with him before I called him or after I hung up the phone. Didn't tell me happy birthday until right before I fell asleep on my birthday, 2 months after we got married. Gaslit and manipulated me into not having a job and said, I just want you to be a stay-at-home wife. And then when like money problems would come up or any kind of issue with me would come up, he would complain about how I didn't have a job and how I'm just mooching off of him. Only came home and ate dinner with me maybe twice a week because he was at his parents' or his brother's house. He did not get me a Christmas present, but instead he gave me his debit card and said, don't know what you want, you got $50, go get yourself something nice. Complained and told me that I was folding his clothes wrong when he never ever did laundry, wash clothes, nothing. He told me over a year after we'd been married and I was pregnant that he wanted multiple wives, and then he was upset that I was upset about it. Got pissed when my parents bought us groceries one time. Told me that he didn't believe that our son was his son, and when I said get a paternity test, he said, I don't even want to because it could be so close to my brother's DNA that you probably slept with that it would just say that it was mine and I would still never know. When the electricity went out on 2 of our rooms, including a bathroom, and our washing machine was broken, and I tried to get him to fix it for about 9 months, he told me that I should have been more grateful and that it was a test to me because people back in the olden days didn't have that kind of stuff, so I should have just been grateful that I had it in the first place, even if it was broken. Okay, that's all for now. Bye!
Today's my first time going back home in public, and it's probably one of the hardest things that I've had to do. I feel so embarrassed going anywhere, people staring at me. I have my sister with me. Just the effects of everything after. People don't realize how hard it is just to go back to your normal life. It feels so ugly. Just like, I feel like I can't go anywhere without people just staring at me, like wondering what they're fucking saying. So I know it's gonna get better.
Girlies be like, I was in a relationship with a narcissist abuser and now every man just like gives me the ick. Sweetie, that's not an ick, that's a trauma response. You're traumatized.
I was dating a guy and he was so amazing. We had so many good times. A few months in, he asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I said, oh, are we exchanging gifts? Because the way I grew up, we didn't celebrate Christmas. And he said, yeah, what's the one thing you want? And I got so excited because I actually love receiving gifts and opening gifts. So I said, let me think about it. And I thought really hard, and I told him the next day when we went out, I said, you know, I think the one thing I want and one thing I really need is a cashmere sweater. Now it was the holidays time, so cashmere sweaters weren't even that expensive. They were actually all on sale. So we had a whole conversation about it. We talked about the colors that would look good on me, the style, like V-neck or crew. 2 weeks later, he says to me, don't forget to tell me what you want for Christmas. So I said, what do you mean? We had a whole conversation about it. And he couldn't remember a single detail about the conversation. So we talked about it all over again. 1 week later, he said to me, send me your Christmas gift list. And I was like, what do you mean, my gift list? Should I send you multiple things that I want? I thought we discussed one thing. And so I had to remind him again. Now, the day before Christmas Eve, he was in a really bad mood, and I asked him what's wrong, and he said, well, I forgot to go get you your gift. So I said, you know, it seems like it's a real hassle for you, so just forget it. And he said, no, I'm going to go on Christmas Eve and go shopping for you. I said, okay, you're the one who asked me what I wanted for Christmas. The next day on Christmas Eve, he's in a really great mood. He says, let's go out for dinner. After dinner, he said to me, you know what? I've decided that the dinner was so amazing, that's your Christmas gift. So I told him, this sounds like a bait and switch. Why did you even ask me what I wanted for Christmas if you weren't planning on getting it for me? And he said to me, you have to learn that you can't always get what you want. These men, they try to humble you and teach you lessons. That's a true narcissist right there. And I told him, I always get what I want. And I don't need a man teaching me any lessons. I'm not a child.
Ladies, that man is jealous of you. You know why he don't help you? Because he's scared if he help you, you're going to shoot past him. He know he ain't going to be able to keep up. You know why he jealous of you? Because he ain't got that drive like you got. He ain't got that aura like you have. And he know, soon as you break free, he know you deserve better. He know you ain't going to see him. You know why he always wants you to be there for him and to help him? Because he needs your energy to pour in his dreams, because he don't have that drive and that hunger like you have. And he can't do it without you, so he don't want to leave you alone. But he really don't like you. He jealous of you. He jealous of how people love you. He jealous of how you get niggas. You might think he even want the niggas. Like, you ever wonder, like, how you keep coming back telling me what everybody's saying about me? You must be over there talking with him, because he jealous of you. Men be jealous of women that they laying down with.
It's over nothing.
Let me go.
It's over nothing.
Hey, let me out.
You just said you're sorry.
Hey, stop, Ryan. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. You're making me so uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable in my own house when I don't even want to fucking be here.
Please.
Stop!
Please.
Ryan!
I want to spend time with you. For fuck's sake, I'm so hurt. I don't know how to act. I am dying inside, Brianna.
Today is day 6 of separation from my abusive husband. Last night, he had found out I'd left the apartment. When he asked me where I was, I sent him a message. I simply told him that I need some space and I'm at a hotel and we can talk in a couple weeks, and to please respect my space. What followed after were hundreds of calls and messages. After a while of me not responding, he said he had an emergency and to please call him. Obviously, these were all manipulation tactics to get me to answer the phone. There was no emergency. And if there was, he could have called 911 or simply told me over text. Then he said, "How could you? I would never do this to you." Laughable that he goes on to talk about me disrespecting him. When that didn't work, he changed it up and said he was afraid that I was kidnapped. But before that, he had sent me messages about me taking all of my clothes and my important documents. I've never heard of that type of kidnapping before. Throughout his messages, most of it was just blaming me, threatening if I don't answer the phone that I had basically ruined the relationship forever, and how could I do this to him. He calls me insane for leaving, and he said he would never forget that I had left the house without telling him, and that I broke his heart like I never did in these past 6 years. It's crazy to think that in some texts he seems genuine, for example, the kidnapping and his concern. But the pieces just don't go together. It's absolutely obvious that I left on my own terms. And how a loved one could be capable of such manipulation is hard to accept. But again, if he really thought I was kidnapped, he'd call the police. He called hundreds of times this morning again. I sent one last text that I'm okay, and to please respect my space. I knew that he wouldn't, so I finally had the strength to block him on everything.
There is one common trait among women who date narcissists. There is some common traits. 1, childhood trauma. 2, emotional neglect when they were kids. And these guys, these narcissists, it's like they know the weakness of these ladies, and they use those weaknesses to trap them in marriages, in relationships. Yeah, that's why you find a lady is in an abusive relationship. She's being beaten physically, she's being abused financially, emotionally, but they can't leave. Because since birth, since when they were kids, these people did not learn true love, what true love means. And now they have to stick to these relationships because maybe they have nowhere to go. Their parents don't accept them back. They are bullies. Their parents too are narcissists. So when these ladies are with these men, they have nowhere to go. And these men take advantage of that. Let's continue watching.
My husband and I were together for 8 years, 4 years dating, 4 years married, and I decided to move out in February. And do you want to know how many times in the now 3 months that we've been separated that he's
begged me to come back, told me how much he loves me, how much he wants to make it work, how much he misses me and our dog. Zero times has he tried. It actually took less than a week for me, or less than a week from me moving out for him to be on Tinder. So I am just, continuing on, and he obviously doesn't give a shit about me. So with every day that passes, I'm more and more sure of my decision to file for divorce. In my head, my heart is still catching up, but it'll get there. And I think my intention with sharing this with you is just being vulnerable, and maybe the internet isn't always the best place, but in the times that I have chosen to be vulnerable with people are some of the best moments that I've had in making friends, in meeting new people. So I think there is value to sharing what I'm going through, because maybe I can help somebody else not go through the same thing. So yeah, he obviously doesn't want me back, and I'm not going back. So this is my life now.
Phone down, you won't forget.
No.
What are you doing on your phone that's so important? I thought you had to sleep.
I'm recording you.
So record me, that's fine. You don't have to hold your phone and record me. You can mount it. So that way you can listen to the questions that I'm asking and retain the question so that you can answer it.
No, I'm also texting people.
Why?
So someone can come over.
Who's gonna come over?
I don't know.
Who are you texting to come over?
Some of my friends.
I can't let them in.
Okay.
You realize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why are you inviting your friends over if you're going to sleep?
Just so they can sit here.
Sit here and what?
Keep me company.
I'm keeping you company.
You're not letting me sleep.
They're not gonna let you sleep either.
Yeah, they will.
I won't let them let you sleep. Seems like a luxury that you think you deserve.
I'm going to tell you what it's like to give birth when your partner is a person that has narcissistic personality disorder. Here's a story time. So I have a daughter, and at the time I did not know that I was with somebody that had NPD. Looking back now, everything makes sense. But when you're going through the thick of it, there's excuses for all of their abusive behavior. They somehow manage to justify every single thing that they do wrong to you. But I'm going to tell you my birth story. Okay, so it was a Thursday afternoon, and we were grocery shopping. Around sometime in the afternoon, I started to experience like cramping, and I'm like, okay, this could be the onset of labor. I wasn't sure. I was full term, so I knew it would be any day. He's like, oh, it's probably just Braxton Hicks again, which Braxton Hicks is just like fake contractions, I guess. It's your body preparing you. These were obviously not Braxton Hicks, because we got home. My contractions were bearable. They were about half an hour apart pretty much straight away. Then managed to barely sleep throughout the night. And then it was early in the morning the next day. As soon as I got up out of bed, as soon as I started walking around and moving my body, my contractions went from like half an hour apart to 1 minute apart. And then for 36 hours, I was in active labor. With my contractions 1 minute apart, and it was awful. It was awful. And this is my first baby. I have no idea what's normal, what to expect, Then the morning progresses. I'm like, I'm just going to wait around. Like, surely this baby's not going to, come out straight away. I've always been told that your first baby typically is a longer labor because you've never done it before. So I wake him up and I let him know, I'm like, this is real labor. And every midwife and nurse that told me, you will know when you're in labor, you will know. And I knew this was real labor. He was like, okay. He got up slowly, continued the rest of his morning routine, like, normal. I'm walking around packing my bag, packing the baby bag, packing his bag. all by myself, and I'm like having contractions 60 to 90 seconds apart. Eventually, he drives me to the hospital, and I'm in agony. We get there, they check me. I'm only 3 centimeters dilated. So I'm like, this is going to be awful. So then they send me home. I'm like, okay, the midwife goes, just go home, labor as much as you can, and when it starts to get even worse, then come back. And I'm like, it's going to get worse? Like, it was so bad. It was so bad. Anyway, so then we go home. He drops me off. He goes, okay, well, since it's going to be like quite a while probably, I'm going to go get my beard done. I'm going to go to the barber. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, sure. I'll just take a bath. So I took a bath for myself. Keep in mind, when you're having a contraction, it is like I would be able to walk for 60 seconds. I'm bending over in agony because I'm having a contraction. Walk for another 60 seconds. Like it is intense. I hop in the bath, having like a nice warm bath. I ring my mum. My mum used to live an hour and a half away from me, so she couldn't even, she was far away. I'm messaging her, having contractions. She's worried for me. She's like, you're by yourself? And I said, yes. And she goes, it sounds like you're about to have this baby. Like, I didn't have your sisters until, I was 1 minute apart, and you've been 1 minute apart for ages, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, no, he's just gone to the bar, blah, 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 blah. Who in their right mind leaves their laboring wife with no support? I had no one around me, no friends, no family. My partner, who's supposed to be there for me during labor, went to the barber. Then he's gone for hours. I was waiting for like 2 hours, and I'm messaging him. I put my phone on before I went and had a bath. I put my phone on charge in the kitchen, and then took it off. After a little while, that's when I went to the bathroom, called my mum in the bath. When I came out, my charger was still in the kitchen, so I managed to slowly get my way back over there, put my phone back on charge. I was like struggling to even breathe. I was like, I can't even articulate the pain that I was in labor, completely by myself, terrified out of my mind. And I'm ringing him. He's not answering. I'm messaging, like, you need to come home. We need to go to the hospital. I'm about to have this baby. Finally comes to pick me up, and he's dawdling around the house, grabbing this and that. And I'm like, we need to go. So I'm in there. I'm now waiting for him near the car for him to get God knows whatever he's trying to get out of the house. I'm like, we need to go. On the way to the hospital, he's filming me because I did not want an epidural. I did want an epidural before I was in labor. And then when I was in labor, I was like, give me the epidural. So he's recording me in the car, like saying, like, do you want the epidural? And I'm like, yeah, I think I do. We then are so close to the hospital. He then pulls into an Aporto, which is like a fast food takeaway, and orders himself a full course meal, parks the car in the car park, eats his meal in park while I'm sitting next to him having 1 minute contractions. Tell me that's not a piece of shit. He enjoyed me suffering. He loved it. We get to the hospital, get checked in. He's there on his phone the entire time. He's not coming over and like touching me. He's not consoling me. He's not coaching me through it. It's nothing. The midwives see a lot of births. They were like doing more for me and like talking to me nicely and being more of support than my own, partner was. On his phone the entire time, was complaining that the chair and lounge that he was on was super uncomfortable. Wrong fucking choir to preach to, babe. I'm in labor with a needle in my spine and I'm paralyzed now because I've had the epidural. Obviously, eventually have labor. I end up needing to have a episiotomy, and if you don't know what that is, it's where they literally cut the skin of your vagina so that you can get the baby out, because her heart rate was dropping so quickly every time I would stop pushing. So then they asked me for my consent to give me one, and I said, yes, do whatever you need to do. I need to get her out. After that, she was born. Everything was like good. She was healthy. That was great. And then after we did like the skin to skin contact and, the night was happening, It was my first night in the hospital and he left me by myself. Now, with an episiotomy, I needed like 8 or 9 stitches, internally and externally. And recovering from birth, like you can imagine, it's major trauma. I could barely stand up for more than like 3 minutes without feeling like I was going to collapse my legs out from underneath me. And obviously, when you have stitches down there and you've just given birth, like you are so sore, it is a mission to do anything. He was complaining that he is so tired, he cannot sleep in this couch, he's going to go home. He drove home and left me in the hospital by myself. I had no family around me, no friends, no one. Literally by myself, 23-year-old with a brand new baby. And obviously, I didn't get to rest because I had just given birth. I was awake for 40 hours straight, pushing a baby out of me. And he went home and I was like, are you seriously going to leave me here? Are you seriously going home? He's like, yes, I need sleep. How am I going to help you tomorrow if I haven't had proper sleep? And I'm thinking, at that point, I was just like, go, get the fuck out of my face. Like, I hate you. So then he left and I was completely by myself the entire night, struggling. Newborns, they get up every hour to every 2 hours. So you can imagine how exhausting and tiring that is. He came back at like 9:30 or 10 a.m. the next day. Mind you, I've been up all night long by myself. And pretty much from then on, I have been a single mother. I was a married single mother. Like, you don't have to be relationship status-wise single to be a single mother. And then obviously, after you have a child with a narcissist, that's when their true colors really, really, really come out because they think you're locked in. Now, that's what my experience was, giving birth with a partner that has NPD. And that's the nice story. That's what I can say online. But yeah, pay attention to how they're treating you. Everything has an excuse. And now that I know my worth, I would never tolerate that BS ever again.
Last week, I had 6 followers on TikTok when I posted a video of my now ex-boyfriend wheezing on the floor of my bathroom, having a medical emergency, and because he got caught cheating. And this is the story time, so we're gonna get into it finally. Please forgive the delay. Yes, I removed the videos partially. There were legal threats and everything, but the main reason was because I never had intentions of this getting 52 million views in 5 days. And at the same time that 52 million people saw this grown man embarrass himself on the ground, they also saw me get cheated on in my face. So I just want to move on from it and heal and enjoy my amazing life that I have without him. So, but here's the story time, long awaited. Sorry it took me so long. I have my notes ready to give you guys the tea. I've never done this before, so I'm just gonna tell you guys as if it's my mom or my friend, and watch if you want, don't if you don't. This is what happened. So the story really starts before I even started dating my ex-boyfriend. 6 to 8 to 12 months, I don't know exactly when, before I started dating my ex, I went to dinner with a guy, and let's just call him Greg. One night, we had dinner, nothing ever happened between me and Greg, we never even kissed, but that's just important for you guys to know because we're gonna circle back to Greg in the story later on. So fast forward, I meet this guy who is now my ex-boyfriend, the one that you guys saw in the video. And for the first months of us knowing each other, I liked him since the beginning, but he would only see me maybe once a month. It didn't seem like he was trying to court me, so I didn't take things too seriously. I liked him, but he didn't seem like he was trying to be intentional at all, so no big deal. But after like 4 to 6 months of that, something changed in our relationship when we started to hang out like every single day. When I'm telling you guys, like 6 nights a week, maybe more. We were together all the time and I really liked him, so I was happy at the beginning. But we both talked about, taking things slow because we're both adults and we're not just gonna jump into a relationship. We're gonna be thoughtful and intentional about getting to know each other to find out if we're compatible for a potential long-term future. So why did I even like him in the first place? Well, one, he was tall. He was tall with an ugly face, let's be honest. But his energy and the way he presented himself is the reason I even liked him in the first place, okay? So he presented himself as a very successful, very mature, very high value man who had good values, who was family oriented, and he kind of was always looking down on other people, like talking shit about other people and on a little bit of a high horse, but he was confident and quiet. So he had good energy that came across, and he was tall and successful, so it seemed. And I originally liked him because of those reasons. So some of the red flags as our relationship started to move forward and progress is that he would become progressively more controlling. So in the beginning, it would be little jokes and stuff about what I'm wearing, but by the end of our relationship, I had to ask this man for every single drink that I drank. Mind you, I'm a grown adult. I had to get his permission for every drink. I wasn't really going out with any of my friends anymore, so I was basically a prisoner, and we would stay home almost every night. Like, him and I didn't go out that much. There's also things like he made me delete my bikini pictures on Instagram, and he had my location, but I didn't have his. These are all things that I normally wouldn't be cool with, but he created this dynamic where it was like, I respect him and I do what he says, and I want to make my partner happy. So, you know, if you don't want me to have bikini pictures on Instagram, I understand why, because I look good, so I'll take them down. Oh, this is weird. So I don't ever look at a man's phone. I don't want to know what's on a man's phone, but one day I noticed that the messages on his phone were locked. Like, you had a second passcode lock to get into your messages. And I was like, why? And his explanation for this was, oh, my friend has a baby, and I saw that my friend has his messages locked, so I thought it was a good idea. And I was like, but do you have a baby who plays on your phone? Why do you need a lock on your messages just because your friend has a toddler? Stupid excuse, right? But I'm not Nancy Drew, so I'm not looking for things. I assume that you're an adult and I'm an adult, and the way he presented himself was like he's high value standards, like morally sound. And so anytime I would bring things up, this is a red flag, he would twist them on me, start to, you know, get mad at me. Somehow, if I said how I felt, somehow he'd be yelling at me. And I'll give you guys an example. Valentine's Day should be an easy holiday to celebrate, you know, but he lives in 2 cities. So most of the time he's in my city, 70% of the time, but 30% of the time he goes to another city. And he was in that other city, but I got a bouquet of flowers delivered to my door. So I was very happy. They were very beautiful. I sent him a picture of the flowers and the notes that the flowers had, and he was like, that's weird. Like, those flowers are not for you. You have another bouquet on the way. I sent those flowers for your 2 best friends. Huh? So I was like, say psych right now. Like, why on Valentine's Day would you send me flowers and also send my 2 hot best friends flowers? But instead of just telling me why, he didn't respond all night and into the next day. So what am I doing? Sitting in misery, wondering, why did this man send my best friend flowers? Like, why did you do that? Why couldn't you just send me flowers? The next day, finally, he tells me, he's yelling at me, and he's like, you know what, Marissa? I went out of the office, I went to the front of the office, and I went out of my way to place the order for the flowers because I was trying to do something nice for you, and the website crashed. I got the order that said it didn't go through, so I placed another order, but then I found out that the first order went through, so I was trying to be nice and do something nice for your friends because I know they're single. And I was like, why are you yelling at me? Also, any man, if you accidentally send 2 bouquets of flowers, just send them to your girlfriend. Like, Why wouldn't you just send 2 and be like, sorry, I placed 2 orders? It's as simple as that, but instead I was getting yelled at. Okay, so throughout the course of our relationship, he was controlling. I didn't really say much. I wasn't looking around, so I kept my feelings to myself. So we generally had a pretty stable relationship. This lasted for less than a year, by the way, but we were seeing each other every night, essentially. And so I do want to tell you guys another story about the way this man was controlling. We went to a music festival with a ton of people, a very large festival. And 2 journalists came up to our group that we were with, the friends, and they started introducing themselves, and they said, hey, we are journalists here. We are doing a fashion column. And then they looked at me in the group and they said, we really love your fashion. I was like, thanks. Anyways, they asked me to take a photo, and of course I said yes. So they have this big camera, and I take some photos. And as I'm taking the photos, I look over to my boyfriend, and he is giving me the death stare. He is looking at me like he hates me. And I'm like, and then they start to interview me, and they start to ask me questions about where did I get my inspiration. And he grabs my arm and pulls me, and he's like, we're leaving. And we stomp back to where we were staying in silence, and he's livid. I'm sorry, you guys, I have to do a part 2. I promise it's just going to be the 2 parts, but I want to tell you guys the stories, and so, sorry.
Now, my advice to ladies has always been one. If you are in an abusive relationship, and this guy is not physically abusing you, stay there, plan your finances, plan everything, leave. But don't leave without uncertainty of the future. Like, don't live without having a clear plan of the future. But if it's physical, just leave. Everything will fall in line. I'm saying if it's not physical, you can stay there, plan your things, and then move out. But if it's physical, please, let's leave this guy alone. Yeah, because what I came to learn is that narcissists are abusive. Narcissists are physically abusive, emotionally abusive, financially abusive. And what they do, they try to choke you up. They choke you in everything so that you can't survive without them. Or they instill that belief in you that you can't survive without them. And the moment you leave them is the moment you feel what true freedom tastes like. The moment you leave their home, the moment you leave their house, or the moment you initiate the divorce process, it's the moment you start feeling the taste of freedom. Then there are other worse narcissists. What am I talking about? Narcissists who track you, who stalk you, who follow you around, who threaten even you with death when you leave them. They are worse narcissists. These are abusive narcissists. These are people who cannot get over the idea of being left by a lady. So my advice to ladies is look out for the red flags during the dating stage. When you're dating, look for the red flags. If you see something is off, just leave. It's very easy. There are many online videos on how you can detect a narcissist. They are many. So what I usually say is until the next video, nice to meet you. Leave a comment, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.